Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Discovery Expo. We got a great guest lined up for you, our friends from Intel with John D. Sullivan. He's going to be talking about everything going on in the world of Intel. But first, before we get started with our video, we just wanted to give you your secret word of today. And that secret word has been scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's Intel. Make sure you use it. We'll see you later. Thank you. Welcome back to Discovery Expo. Today on our talk show, we're talking to our guest Intel, and we have our special guest here, Mr. John D. Sullivan.
Hey, Ryan J. Hi, everybody. Hey, guys and gals. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, thank you for coming, and thank you for giving us this time. So, first of all, John, why don't you tell us about yourself and your role within the company?
Sure, great. So thank you, everybody, for your time and attention. I've been repping for Intel. This is my 10th year. In high school, it was the first time they were doing a computer class, and the teacher had me teach the class half the time. I was kind of like a little Sheldon Cooper. It was a little embarrassing. But the teachers, all the teachers recommended me, and I applied. And the school board literally hired me to teach. I worked for them, and I ran the computer camp for the school boards around Oakville and Burlington for 2 summers. So I really liked teaching, and that's kind of where I got that bug. And then I went to the University of Waterloo for computer science, and at that time, your only choice for CS there was a math degree, and I was pretty good at math, so I was lucky there. But I could have had a scholarship for physics again, but I wanted computers. So I worked in tech R&D. I did a Delphi project, programming Karmarkar's algorithm for solving linear programming problems and polynomial operation, blah, blah, blah. And so I was working in APL at the time, which was the statistics mathematics programming language for computers. And I discovered, and this was on the first IBM PC with the Intel 8088. That's an 8-bit chip, by the way. And I discovered that it did integer numbers way, way faster than floating point numbers. And being a mathematician, I could take floating point numbers and break them down into integers, do the integer math, and get the results way faster than doing the floating point. And I kind of shared that with Intel, and that's kind of how I got on their radar. And actually, AI chips now and the graphics GPU type stuff where they do all that kind of really fast math for artificial intelligence, it's kind of the same thing. They're doing B-floats, and they're doing different kinds of math. Instead of doing the floating point to way too many precision, and you're not going to use that precision anyway, let's get close enough, and then we can do like 32, 64 times as many numbers in the same amount of time. And that's how they can do amazing things like recognize your voice, recognize faces, and all those kinds of things. So I worked in computers for healthcare for 20 years. I played lots of sports, disc jockey, and Intel one day was like, they need somebody to cover. You wouldn't be interested in that, would you? Oh, maybe. Okay, go talk to Chris. Chris, I know, Chris is a friend of mine. So I got connected with Chris, and he was running an Intel program in retail where we all live and breathe. And I was just doing it part-time on the weekends, and I really liked it. You get to deal with people all the time and help them and solve their issues and answer their questions and stuff. Plus, I'm pretty good at my tech now. It's funny, eh? Sales is so much about psychology, and psychology is never my strong suit. So I wasn't super salesperson type thing. And I would get things wrong, and I make mistakes, but I was pretty good at the nerd geek, Leonard Sheldon kind of stuff that pouring out of my ears. So that part I was good at, and I was pretty good at persuading people. So over time, I became a trusted advisor, and people trusted me. And that's what we all are, right? Everybody, I'm sure in the audience today, has the same thing. Their family, their friends, they call, hey, I got a computer problem. Hey, I got this problem. Help me out. Oh, so you become a trusted advisor. Well, we do that with our customers. Very easy. Treat them like a friend, treat them like a family member, and give them that great trusted advice. But don't forget, give them the advice that they want and they need. Don't do what you would want to do, like Sheldon Cooper does. do what the other person wants, and then so Intel's been recommending me ever since, and I'm still here, and now I'm the national training manager for the retail space. So it's just been great. Too long of an answer. Sorry, guys. That's crazy.
Not at all. Not at all. I love it. I absolutely love. I love it. National training manager. I mean, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, that's no small feat of what you've done in your journey to get here. So, you know, now that you've been, you know, really part of computers and you love teaching, you know, tell us a little bit about Intel and what is it that Intel does?
Right, yeah, the reason we're all here, right, exactly. So Microsoft and Intel have been bosom buddies like Leonard and Sheldon forever. We're really an amazing company. And I just wanted to talk a little bit, I actually have a video, later on we're going to see the video to give you a little bit of a taste. But did you know that Intel is a lot more than just the processors in the computers? Oh, so much more. If it's smart, if it's connected, it's better with Intel. And we, at the Consumer Electronics Show this year, of course, we really had a big section about the self-driving cars because we're here, baby. We're partnered with over 144 different car manufacturers, and there are ones out on the road right now using Intel technology. Cadillac, BMW, Volkswagen, all kinds of Saab and Audi and stuff. So really, really amazing stuff. There's vision, you know, pretty soon computers are going to be able to taste and smell. They can see, I don't know about feel, that could be a tricky one, but they'll understand. Do you know they can wire up your brain now and the computers can figure out what you're thinking and put text up on the screen based on what they can know what you're dreaming about? It's like, what? And you know, so Intel makes amazing things possible. Artificial limbs that react when people, all they got to do is think about moving their fingers and the artificial fingers move. Like, just amazing things. 5G, Intel's a big driver of 5G, the whole infrastructure stuff. So we're going to be a big player there. Remember, we kind of brought Wi-Fi to the masses. When we came out with the Centrino, we were baking Wi-Fi into every laptop that was Centrino, and people thought we were nuts. And now look at it, like everything has Wi-Fi. It's just a given. It's everywhere. So that kind of stuff, well, Intel is going to continue. We're thinking about the future all the time. Oh, amazing things they do in the laboratory. They have to be thinking about things like 5 years in the future and get it ready and develop it so that we can bring it to you today. Just fascinating stuff.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That definitely is fascinating stuff, and it's crazy that you're talking about that Intel is going beyond just computing, and they're trying all sorts of different things. It's fantastic. So, tell us about your latest lineup of processors, your entry levels, your mids, your high ends. Like, what kind of processors you got, John?
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, the cloud runs on internet servers. Pretty much all the stuff runs on Intel. You know, over 90% of all the stuff you're connected to on the internet is, you know, hosted on Intel stuff, and it's just fantastic. But for consumers and business people and everybody that we deal with, there's, of course, our Intel Core lineup. And great devices. Now, they would typically be like everything from entry level to mainstream to the modern go-getter to the people who want high-end performance. And actually, for some of those categories, I have a partner in crime. I have many all across the country and in the United States. And one of those folks is James. And I have a little video, if you don't mind. We'll share the video from James, and he's going to explain some of our processors, entry, mainstream, and high-end.
What's up, everybody? My name's James. Some of you might know me better as Teapot Jim from my past videos. Like a lot of people, I'm working from home more these days, but that's okay, because I got my own little personal assistant with me. Ain't that right, Bella? You ready to get started? I am super pumped to be back, and today we are talking 10th gen Intel Core mobile processors. So let's not waste any time, let's jump into it. Roll the intro. Hey everyone, James here, and like I said, today we are talking 10th gen Intel Core mobile processors. And I don't know if you know this, the average customer waits 5 to 7 years before they upgrade their device. And laptops have come so far, from sheer weight to performance. Over the last few years, they have completely changed. So let's talk about 4 different customer types and how 10th gen Intel Core mobile processors are going to meet all their mobile computing needs. All right, so the very first customer type we're looking at are those looking for a value or entry-level PC. If the customer you're working with is on a budget, they're going to be a great fit for an Intel Celeron or Pentium-based device. And these devices are available in the cool new stylish form factors such as 2-in-1s and thin-and-lights. They're going to get great new features like 10 hours of active battery life and Intel Wi-Fi 6 Gig Plus. I'm sure your customers are going to love the improved graphics and lightweight designs of these new devices. All right, next up, we're talking mainstream customers. Mainstream customers want great performance and graphics capabilities on the go. The technologies in 10th gen Intel Core processors like Intel Iris Plus graphics and artificial intelligence give them all the power they're looking for. Just to name 2 things, they're gonna get up to 2.5 times faster AI performance and up to 2.2 times faster rendering for amazing graphics. Mainstream customers are gonna love knowing that they can cut the cord with sleek new thin and light devices powered by 10th gen Intel Core U or Y series processors. Okay, now on to my favorite category, customers who are looking for intense gaming and creating. Serious gamers and creators need a lot of power, and that's exactly what they're gonna get with the 10th gen Intel Core H series mobile processors. They're gonna get desktop caliber performance all in a device that they can take on the go. Their experience gets even better when the device features Intel Optane Memory H10 with solid state storage. This is a smart storage solution that increases the responsiveness of their device. So for example, they can launch games even quicker, like Path of Exile up to 52% faster. If they're a content creator, they can launch Adobe Photoshop project files up to 85% faster. These devices are also going to feature Intel Wi-Fi 6 Gig Plus, which totally takes their gameplay to the next level, with 3 times faster performance and about 75% lower latency for really responsive gameplay.
James mentioned there's 4 kinds of customers, and then he talked about 3. So the fourth kind would be, kind of everybody else. So there are, people who want desktops, people who are business people. They got to work at home, desktop. They got to work on the road, or both, or back and forth. Mobile go-getters and all that kind of stuff. So there's people who want to game. So there's gaming desktops, gaming laptops. So yes, the H series mobile processors definitely fit right in because they give you that desktop caliber performance on the go. But yeah, there's more than just those 3 or 4 for sure.
Awesome. All right, so let's pull a question from our user base. So we have, yep, I am that guy 101 wants to know, what does the I really mean?
The I. You mean like I3, I5, I7, I9? Okay. Well, originally, we think way back to 2001, Intel came out with the first 64-bit processors, Intel architecture 64, and it was called Itanium. That's where the I came from. And then at the same time, Microsoft came out with Windows XP. Oh, remember Windows XP, Ryan?
I love that.
2001.
I love that OS.
Yeah, I've been around for a while, and 64-bit Windows XP was released at the same time. Then a couple of years later, we came out with a Pentium 4 and changed the architecture a bit so that it did both the x86 32-bit and 64-bit equally well, because people were kind of dragging their heels. They didn't want to switch to 64-bit yet. All the programs that everybody had was still 32-bit. And that kind of dragged on for a long time. So we needed processors that would do 32-bit and 64-bit equally well. And that was Pentium 4 and up. And then Core 2 and Core 2 Duo. And, our CEO at the time had a meeting with Bill Gates over at Microsoft. And we were showing the roadmap. And Bill Gates said to him, "Oh, you guys are really serious about this multiple core stuff." Yeah, because the single core, they were turning into toasters. I mean, we were going higher and higher gigahertz, but it was getting really, really hot. So the solution was to go, many core, multi-core, mega core, and that's where we are today. So we've been running on that architecture ever since. And so first generation, second generation, the Intel Core i series, going for 10 generations now, and it's 64-bit architecture. And hey, everybody, welcome to the 64-bit world. Finally. We've been doing it for like 20 years.
That's amazing. Oh man, I love it. You know, it's funny. You don't even think about it. Like you think about that i3, i5, i7, and I know everyone always thinks about it. Like, what does that I mean? But that's incredible. What a journey indeed. So let's get into the next one here. Which processor is the most important one for students going back to school?
Core i5. Oh yeah, for sure. Core i5 is in the main wheelhouse. It's the the best solution for the vast majority of customers. Now there are others. For the pinnacle of performance in thin and lights, you're looking at Core i7. Remember Ultrabooks? Intel kind of invented Ultrabooks like we invented Centrino and put Wi-Fi and everything. Well, we've got a new thing now. Yeah, we got a new thing now called Project Athena. The badge you'll see is engineered for mobile performance. It's this pretty purple, orange, yellowy, multicolored badge. And those are for like the mobile go-getters, the superhero device. And the great thing about these devices is we combine all kinds of amazing capabilities, super thin bezel, super high resolution, amazing battery life. And there's 27 requirements that the OEMs, our partners, our OEMs must meet in order for it to get that badge of approval and be considered mobile, engineered for mobile performance. So and half of those tests are done by independent, stringent, third-party tested. So we make sure that those devices, for example, you're going to get half of your battery recharge in 30 minutes. Just amazing. And that has to be at least 4 hours. There's going to be like just amazing stuff in terms of battery life and performance for the all-day go-getter.
I love it. I love it.
There's other stuff too. H series, and there we get into like i5, i7, i9, because there are people. Remember, there's going to be customers coming in who might also want a game. They need a device for school, but they also want it for home. They also want it for entertainment. They need a device that can do everything they want to do. And some are mega taskers like yourself, Ryan. They game and they stream and they record all at the same time. There's going to be some people who are taking engineering at school or all the creative arts, like the prosumer professional level video editing. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what is a video worth? Right? A billion words. Like everybody wants to do video now. What is it? Like 70% of all internet traffic is video. So that's again where Intel really, really shines. And now with our H series in 10th gen, we've broken the 5 gigahertz barrier, 5 gigahertz and higher, 5.1, 5.3 even. And we have this feature called speed shift. I talked about it last year. We get you lower base clock speeds, but higher turbo clock speeds, and speed shift allows it to go from 0 to 100 and back to 0 again, like 20 times faster than before. This allows us to run cooler, longer battery life, but give you that amazing performance the moment, the instant, the microsecond that you need it. And that gives you really long, it runs cooler, and yet we've really co-engineered these amazing new devices with heat pipes and thermal cooling and lots of temperature sensors, so it automatically and dynamically and proactively responds to your needs and your usage to give you the absolute best performance. We even have artificial intelligence accelerators built into the 10th generation processors to help you with that, to help you get better performance and better battery life.
I love that, and I love how you went from like, oh, students i5, and then you immediately notice that it's like, well, okay, maybe these students want to be gamers, and then opened that conversation up, and then talked about the different processors that will complement their lifestyle, and some of those interesting features like that fast recharge. That's incredible. That's incredible, John. So that being said, with all those with the processor recommended for students and students that may be gamers, let's talk about the processor that you are most excited about for people to get their hands on.
I love the 10th generation i5 again, and it's in the Surface Pro 7. You and I love the Surface Pro 7. I know we're big fans. It's in the Surface Laptop 3. I would much rather have the Surface Laptop 3 with the Intel, and I'll tell you why. You get that smart performance. You get the Iris Plus graphics, which means all those creative things with the video editing and the photo editing and magically doing it like 30 times faster, identifying objects in a picture and removing them or moving them or changing the background and all those things. Like 30 times faster with that artificial intelligence boosting acceleration is in the 10th gen Intel with Iris Plus G4 and G7 graphics. So the Surface Laptop 3 with Intel is amazing. Surface Book with Intel, just really, really great stuff. And even for, entry level and parents who want to buy stuff for elementary school age kids, boys and girls, Surface Go 2. With a Pentium Gold. It's better than Pentium Silver. Kind of think of it almost like a Core i2. It's not quite a Core i3, but pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. All right, so let's get into a little segment we like to call Fast Rapid Responses. So we say a word, and then you're going to respond with a word right away that relates to that word. All right?
Okay. All right, Ryan. Let's give it a shot.
All right, I'm going to hit you with my best shot. Here we go. Productivity.
Intel Core processors and technologies. Yeah, they make those amazing experiences happen everywhere, inside, outside, thanks to the plethora of programs and partnerships like Microsoft, Windows 10, Microsoft 365, Word, Excel, Outlook, all those great things. This productivity.
I love it. School.
There's a device for every need. There's an Intel processor for every need.
Gaming.
It's not the number of cores so much as the higher frequencies that get you the higher performance in games. And, you want to beat the competition. Higher gigahertz means you win. Faster frames wins games. And also, for gaming mainstream and AAA titles, you can now even do it on 10th generation thin and lights and 2-in-1s, thanks to that Iris Plus graphics, which is about double the graphics performance over our 8th gen. Wow, from just a year and a half earlier, 8th gen jumped to 10th gen, double the graphics performance. Wow.
Love it. Battery life.
Well, amazing battery life with Intel now AI optimized in 10th gen.
Awesome. Fast.
Compared to the competition, even Celeron and Pentium. But if you want fastest, Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, Core i9, Intel Core, baby.
Future.
The future is now. In our laboratories, we're working on the future, but Intel is always living in the future today in our lab, so we can bring you the future today. Yeah.
Awesome. And finally, Intel.
Great people, great partners and partnerships. That's P. QRST is quality, reliability, selection. Oh, just the vast array of devices and selection. There's a device for every need. And T is the technologies that we offer, amazing extra things like Wi-Fi 6 and Optane and Thunderbolt and all that stuff. But T is also from all of our partner brands, brand that you can trust. Intel is really a brand that you can trust. And so is Microsoft, really.
Too kind. All right. So that being said, what are some features coming to Intel processors that really stand out and customers will love?
Oh, wow. All of it. There's so much. The Iris Plus graphics, the artificial intelligence boost with the Gaussian neural network, deep learning boost, and all that kind of stuff. Wi-Fi 6, but really just the better performance, the higher frequencies, the better battery life, the amazing technologies, 300 hertz screens on gaming laptops. Now what? Just amazing stuff. And of course, Surface devices have had 10th gen for a while now. Surface Pro 7, Surface Laptop, Surface Book. with a 10th generation Intel core. So really, really great stuff. And there is stuff coming in the future all the time. Hopefully I can come back and talk about the next big things, because they're coming all the time.
I love it. I love it. And yes, you brought so much wonderful knowledge and really interesting things about Intel that I just didn't even realize. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat didn't even realize. So yeah, of course, we would definitely love the opportunity to have you come back, John. So that being said, thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you have anything else you'd like our viewers to know, or any last words that you really want to summarize about Intel?
Yeah, well, thank you, Ryan. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you to Microsoft. Thanks for everyone for listening in and for your time and attention. We really appreciate it. I watch you often, Ryan, and the whole team. Funny stuff with the hot sauce and all that kind of stuff. It's like, thank you, everybody who's working on the front lines. Obviously doctors and nurses and this kind of thing, grocery workers, but we too are kind of on the front lines a bit. They're kind of essential workers. Suddenly we know who we are, right? That's what. And all of us in retail, that's our work, and that's our livelihood. And people now, especially with the pandemic going on, they can have these great devices to work at home and school at home and game at home and entertainment and be social and be connected at home and on the road and everywhere you go, inside, outside. So thank you so much. I want to share a video. I teased at the beginning that there's one more video, just talk a bit about the broad many things that Intel is doing. And it's not even going to mention the billions of gallons of water that we've recycled. Over 90% of our water is recycled. That we're the largest user of green energy. The things we're doing to save the planet, save the endangered species, all those things. But here's a great video. And before we go to that, please, everybody, Ryan and ladies, gentlemen, guys and gals, take the extra precautions, wash the hands extra often, stay safe, and look out for each other. And thank you again. Thank you so much.
We don't stop for naysayers, complacency, competition, boundaries, or physics. Okay, maybe physics. But otherwise, there's no stopping us. Not when we put the silicon in Silicon Valley and change the world. We make the rules. We made the law. We put everything under one roof, design and manufacturing. That's why our products are years ahead of everyone else. We're literally stacking atoms at 22 nanometers, 14, 10. Now, we're pushing the boundaries of physics again with hyperscaling, bold new tech that blows past the litho barrier. And our pushing doesn't stop in the fab. We're making life better outside. Like this, and this, or that. We don't stop to wonder what amazing applications deep learning will bring, because we're the ones bringing them. We don't daydream about autonomous cars, because we're already driving toward it. We won't ask about what new realities VR will unlock, or the capabilities of a 5G network. We'll tell people how we unlock them. When it comes to the future, we're all for getting excited, but we prefer to get busy. Because at Intel, we're not fortune tellers, and we damn sure aren't spectators.